we opened our sermon last week, we see that the Pharisees approaching Jesus, and they're demanding this sign from heaven. They want proof that he's the Son of God. And Jesus doesn't give them this proof. In fact, he rebukes them and then turns from them, and he walks away from them. And the question is, why? And the answer is because Jesus sees that it's their heart that's the problem. It's not lack of evidence that is the problem. It's the heart that's the problem. It's their heart. And more evidence isn't going to change their heart. Their demand for more evidence actually just exposes their heart. A few weeks ago I had to go on to a conference. I had left the house. Say I wanted to prove my wife's faithfulness. And so I hired a private investigator to follow her around that whole time I was gone. And then when I get home, I call him up and he calls me into his office. Now listen, it doesn't matter the evidence that he provides there. It doesn't matter what he produces. I can go there and he can say, listen, I followed her 24/7 and she never even got close to being unfaithful to you. That would not make me a faithful husband. It would not produce in me more faith in her. All it would do is expose the fact that I do not trust in my wife. I have to deal with the issue that my heart is bent against my wife in order for me to have faith in my wife. You see, and that's the thing. If you're not a Christian, you're not a Christian because of lack of demonstration. You're not a Christian because of lack of evidence. That's not why you're not a Christian, because your heart is bent towards or bent away from Jesus Christ. And if you are a Christian and you're walking and your faith is weighing, your faith isn't weighing because of God and he hasn't produced enough evidence in your life. We see this even with the disciples when they were present for all of these miracles, yet their faith waned. Why? Not because of God or lack of evidence, because of what was in their hearts. So if we're walking in a season now of lack of faith, or if we don't have faith at all, it is the heart that we must work on. We must look into the evilness, the wickedness, the closed-mindedness, the sleepiness, the blindness, the deafness of the heart. We must beg God to please open us up, open up our senses, open up our heart to the truth and the reality that God is all around us, that Jesus Christ is who he says that he is. And then, and only then, do we begin to see the evidence all around us. See, Jesus produced a lot of miracles. But if you notice that he only produced those miracles in the presence of faith. And certainly those miracles pointed to him being the Messiah, to him being the Savior of the world, or the bread of life. All of those miracles pointed to that. But the only people who were able to see that those miracles pointed to that were the people who already had faith. See, Christians have mounds and mounds and mounds of evidence that Jesus Christ is who he says he was, but we can rarely take that evidence and turn somebody who is willfully an unbeliever and turn them. It doesn't work that way. But that evidence, all of that evidence, what that does, it just serves to bolster us. It comforts us as we discover more and more evidence, both natural and historical and even scientific and in every way, that Jesus Christ is who he says he's going to be. And Christian, if Jesus Christ is who he says he is, then you and I must have faith, and faith abounds. And if we're weighing on that or waxing on that, it's not because Jesus hasn't given you enough evidence. It's because your heart's off.